What if I told you that I think that prices for a lot of sports cards are going to hinge on one major factor over player performance, over speculation, etc.? Let me explain. Hello to all my sports card collectors, investors, all of my collectibles friends. Guys, I am still not feeling very well, but as they always say, as we say, the show must go on. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. If you like what you hear, the like button right down there helps us to get the video out, spidering out into the interwebs so that we can get growth to the channel and so that the video is seen. I would very much appreciate it. One quick housekeeping note before we get started. I want to make sure I announce this leading up, is that we will have Jeff Wilson of Sports Card Investor on Off-Centered on Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, coming up on Brad, the Comeback Card Investor's YouTube channel. So make sure you tune in for that one. We're excited to have him on for the first time. All right, guys, with the collectibles industry having seen an insane boom over the last couple of years, we kind of look to 2022 as what is going to happen in 2022 that could affect sports card prices, collectibles prices. And the big thing that's kind of just wavering out there that we're waiting on are interest rate hikes. Not the first time we've talked about this on the channel. It's definitely been talked about a lot by me. And I think it's an important piece because typically interest rates have an inverse relationship with asset prices. And the Fed, Mr. Powell, has come down and said that he plans to raise rates 3 times in 2022. I also watch another channel, and I want to share this with you all. I'm going to put a picture up so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. Coin Bureau. They do an excellent job. They have almost 2 million subscribers. They are essentially a cryptocurrency style channel. But the thing that separates them that I really like is they talk a lot about macroeconomic global stuff and how it relates to all sorts of different assets, and crypto being the main one, but it still applies. It applies to collectibles as well. And so very interesting. They put out a video as to kind of the big bubble. What's the big bubble that's out there? And they speculate that it is global debt. And it's kind of hard to really argue it. I mean, it's something that we all know. It's something that we haven't really felt the effects of yet. We're starting to see inflation creep up, and inflation that goes, untethered can be a huge disruptor to an economy. So it is a big deal. We will have to kind of see, what they end up doing. There is speculation that the Fed does more than 3 interest rate hikes. So some banks, you've got all the banks that are speculating, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, some say 5, some say 7, and they think it's going to go up, by, 0.25%, 25 basis points. But if they did that, 7 times, 8 times, it's almost 2%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's massive. It's massive for our economy. Now, the one thing, though, that is kind of working against this whole plan to keep inflation in check is the fact that when we raise interest rates, we also raise interest rates on our own debt. So that means that what we have to pay back, we're paying back more. So obviously, that's something that's going to be an issue because we can't afford to do it the way that we are spending now currently. And so that's something where this presents a big challenge because, the obvious answer to higher inflation is, just raise interest rates. But that's the other piece of the pie. That's why it's not so easy to just raise interest rates. Now, the one thing I guess that's kind of working in our favor is it's a global problem. It's not just a U.S. problem. It's a big problem here, but China also has this problem. Europe also has this problem. So, but it's not good to where we're kind of like, we're not doing that bad because everyone else is doing bad too. I don't really want to have that sort of outlook. Hopefully, we can look at kind of getting, spending under control and hopefully at some point get this thing checked. So this is something to watch. I mean, if we do see interest rates going up, it is going to be a big factor because historically, it has negatively impacted asset prices. And I've heard some people say, well, in the past, this hasn't affected, sports card pricing. But this is something different that we've dealt with over the last few years. This would be called, I guess, a black swan event. I had Dr. Beckett on, a couple weeks ago, and, he said it himself, and he's been in the hobby for decades and decades. And he said, we are in uncharted territory. These are uncharted waters. So anybody that kind of thinks that they might know what's going on with anything probably doesn't, you know, so that's why there is a lot of speculation out there. And so that's something that I'm going to closely watch. And it's not just for sports cards, for all types of collectibles, whether, and also for equities, real estate, and cryptocurrency type stuff, is what happens with interest rates and what does that do to prices. But like I said, if there are, you know, and even just talk, if you notice, even just talk of interest rate hikes moved cryptocurrency down in general, moved it down, moved stocks down. They haven't even done it yet. They're not even supposed to do it until March. So my thought is, I think I'm just going to wait on some of this stuff. I'm going to wait and see how this plays out in the instance that it does have a negative effect on pricing. If it doesn't have an effect on pricing and pricing stays the same, or maybe it kind of creeps up more on particular sports cards or collectibles that I want, then fine. But I'm willing to take the risk, especially on some of the more higher priced sports cards, collectibles that I want to add. I will just probably sit and wait for a lot of 2022. Will I still be picking up cards? Yes, of course. I've got a couple of strategies I'm working on. I'll share in future videos. I do have my first SGC submission that's coming back. I'm excited. Over the next probably week, 2 weeks, we'll have a video. I'm going to do a blind reveal, SGC blind reveal. So I'm very excited for that one. And I will probably put more money into grading cards with SGC, and probably less on buying new cards. Really kind of focusing on, I have a lot of nice raw cards that I would like to get graded. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments about inflation, the US economy. What are you buying? What are you holding on? And hopefully my voice gets a little bit better here over the next few days. It will. I'll be okay. Have an amazing rest of your day. Check out Coin Bureau, the YouTube channel. They're well known. Great channel to just kind of just talking about macroeconomic type stuff, how it pertains to assets and so forth. It's good stuff. So guys, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.